Hello and welcome to another Source Gaming discussion, this time about RTC. This is the third discussion, and joining me today is not Push Dustin, but PhantomZ2.
Hi.
So, me and Phantom have come together to discuss our RTC scores from before, some of the more interesting videos that we felt needed some elaboration on, now that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has been revealed. I'm sure a lot of people were expecting this sort of discussion to happen. Were we right? Were we wrong? What do we think now that the game has been out? And so today's video is going to focus on the confirmed characters that we covered. So overall, there were 10 characters who got confirmed for Smash Bros. Ultimate that we covered in this series, because we were also covering every single veteran and we made sure to get every single one of them out before E3. And then we also covered both Ridley and Daisy. We didn't do Inklings because they had already been revealed before we started RTC back in the initial trailer in March.
Right.
So those are the 10 we're going to bring up, and I thought that the best thing to do would be to start with the newcomers, like not the veterans, not the ones that have been added back in, but the actual brand new characters no one has played as before, starting with the bigger of the two, literally, Ridley.
Alright.
So, Ridley's video was done by myself, and I gave him 50% chance. And my reasoning behind this was quite literally a 50-50 chance. We've known from the past what Sakurai's thoughts were on Ridley. He knows that they're popular. He was a popular character, and he just felt that before he couldn't get Ridley playable and have him still feel like Ridley. He was too big, as the internet infamously puts it. But this time he tried and he said it was difficult, but he got it to work. And so that kind of falls in line with what I said in the video. I said it was a 50-50 chance. Sakurai either figures out how to do it or he does not.
Do you think that he did it well, based off what we've seen so far?
Yeah, no, I think he's managed to implement Ridley in quite an interesting way. I can kind of see though what he meant by Ridley feeling out of place. Like when I look at him compared to everyone else in the roster, he doesn't fit quite visually. I guess. Sure. Like he's this terrifying murder machine up against a lot of either very anime or very cartoony looking characters. Like he definitely stands out from the crowd. And apart from that one taunt where he kind of looks like he's doing the Sonic Adventure pose, they haven't even attempted to make him look goofy in any kind of way.
Right.
So it's going to be weird. I'm interested to see what he looks like with stuff like the raccoon tail and the bunny hood, and really see if we can make Ridley feel like part of the cast.
Right. That definitely is one thing that I'm still getting. I wasn't as surprised when I saw Ridley in comparison to the other characters we'll be talking about, and that's basically because of the entire the mindset that people had, like this is finally his chance, he's gonna get in. And even though I really didn't think he would get in, especially during the trailer, because I thought it was a Subspace Emissary trailer. I was like, oh snap, a new story. And then when we saw Samus, I was like, okay, well I guess this is finally his time, it's Ridley. And I was still surprised, just not as surprised as I expected to be, because of everybody's pushing so hard for the character. So now that he definitely is in, it's like seeing his render compared to everybody else's. Like you can see like the detailed muscle of his body. Like he's like a full on like monster, whereas like Bowser is like he's a reptile, but like he's still within that like cartoony aspect. It's not like where you can actually see like the like full details, like basically like the full like anatomy of Ridley, and like it's kind of creepy, the fact that in comparison to everybody else's design.
No, agreed. I think it's like the art, it's around the eyes and stuff where it looks like the skin is ripped, and when the crackly sound he makes when he stands up in his taunt, that just gets me. But no, I'm glad to see Ridley in. He is a character that I did want to see actually get added, because I know he was quite popular and I think he would be quite interesting.
Right.
And yeah, just for RTC, 50-50 shot, it got in. We were right on the reasoning, so that's a good one. The next newcomer was a video by you, and a much more infamous one for all the ones we covered because of the massive outcry that it got from certain fans.
Right.
And this was Daisy, who
Right.
you gave 20%.
So Daisy, it's kind of weird because it technically is my first RTC as well. It was the first published one, but it's technically the second, as the Lycanroc one was my first. That's the one I first had edited.
Mm-hmm.
But the Daisy RTC was very difficult to create at first because there was that personal thought with me that although she is one of my favorite characters in the Mario universe, I don't see any chance of her being involved. And jokingly, I was thinking, hey, what if this is like the first, like the lowest character we ever get? I was like, I'm not gonna actually do that, but that would be pretty funny.
No.
Yeah.
That's Pauline and Pauline pretty much forever until we do Sans.
Yeah. But definitely with Daisy, it wasn't that I wanted to rate her low. It was the fact of I really didn't see anything coming from this character, considering the fact of we saw her like Waluigi, where even though she has that one mainline title, Super Mario Land, she hasn't really been in any other mainline title. You could, and I mean, even if you wanted to argue with Pauline, she still really hasn't been like a character as well either in the Mario universe until Odyssey. So Pauline might definitely be the lowest all the time, but I think Daisy I even thought Daisy had lower chances than her. But I was still open to giving her like a special alt costume in terms of like Alf, where he has that little name, he has a specific name tag, even though it doesn't mean much in difference of a moveset or maybe animations other than the fact of the base costume. I really didn't see anything else coming out of her. So when Daisy got announced, I was completely ecstatic. My friends called me out saying I thought she wasn't gonna be in Smash. And I thought she wouldn't be in Smash, but she is, and she's more than just a special alt. She's an Echo character now.
Yeah, and Echo characters, they're kind of like the same, like how Lucina and Dark Pit War planned to be costumes and then upgraded to their own. I still don't know why Alf also didn't get this treatment. I'm very salty about that. But no, it's nice to see Daisy in there. I think a big thing for the RTC with quite the low score is that Daisy's issue was that it'd be difficult to make her unique. I think were a lot of the points against her inclusion, which were in the end right, technically, because she didn't get in as a unique fighter at all. In fact, she wasn't like a semi-clone or anything. But
I believe. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, I think a big issue with Daisy, which we've kind of flipped on our heads now with like the latest one with Dark Samus that has just come out, is that we completely underestimated the possibility of more clone characters, I guess.
Right.
And like how Sakurai would have a bigger emphasis on them this time in order to get some fan favourites in. Because do you think that if we had known about Echo Fighters before we started this series and say Daisy hadn't been revealed as one, do you think you would have given Daisy a higher chance of being in the game?
So before Echo Fighters were a thing, I wasn't completely against the idea of a clone, but I was against the idea of giving them their own slot. And when I say that, I mean the best example I can use is the I don't know if you've played the games, but the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm series, where
oh yeah, I've played the first two, yeah.
Right. So many characters have their own costumes or different iterations. So like Naruto can have 6 iterations, but if they share like a specific moveset, or if they share like the core model, I believe, they end up being on the same slot, and you use the triggers in order to switch between them. That's kind of what I was hoping for Smash, where in order to decrease the roster size, that they would have multiple characters that are clones layered onto each other, and that they would still act as different characters, and not just be like a costume. And
I mean, I suppose they could still do that.
Right,
we don't actually know.
They could, and that's what and since considering the fact that we haven't seen anything, I believe we haven't seen any type of footage of the character select screen with Echo characters on them. We haven't seen Echo characters yet. That still could be the case, considering the fact that they also don't even count as different numbers. They have the epsilon symbol, I believe it is.
Yeah, the epsilon symbol.
Yeah, they have the epsilon symbol. So even on the website, it states 66 fighters, but when you count the Echo fighters, that's even more. So there still is a question of, well, will they do that? Will they have them laid onto each other, or will they just not consider them the same, not consider them fully as their own fighters, considering the fact that they are Echoes?
All right. Well, do you have any final thoughts on Daisy before we move on to the other 8 characters we need to discuss?
If there were any final thoughts, I would say is people in the comments definitely told me so. I won't deny that. And I'm not against her. I was never purposefully against her. I just really didn't see her having any chance like some other Mario characters. So the fact that she is in, I'm happy about. Whether I'll pick her over Peach, maybe. I think I might pick her over Peach just because of we've had Peach in for so long and not Daisy.
Yeah. Alright, so the final 8 characters can all kind of be grouped together. And these are all of the returning veterans. So for a long time I was pushing for every character to come back. I said it was something that Sakurai would do because he knows that fans are disappointed when their favourites get cut and he doesn't like to disappoint people. And with so few missing characters this time, especially if they were starting off Smash 4 as a base, it made sense to add them in. And all of this was right. I mean, Sakurai even confirmed it in that latest Famitsu article, where he basically said this game was started from Smash 4 and it's because of this that we can include everyone. If we were starting from scratch, we'd have like a third of the roster. Like, it would probably only have like 40 characters in or something.
Right.
And so, I like being right about that. But the own individual scores were done between me, myself, Push, Dustin, and Voyager. Voyager doing the Pokemon Trainer, and then myself doing Snake, Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Young Link, and Push doing Pichu, Wolf, and Ice Climbers.
Yeah.
And there was at least a lot of people point out that RTC doesn't have consistency as they claim. But I like to think that for the veterans that we did for the scores, because Ice Climbers was 80%, Wolf was 75%, Snake 50%, Pokemon Trainer was 50%, which we can talk about in a bit, Squirtle was 45%, Ivysaur was 35%, Pichu was 35%, Young Link was 10%. And I think if you went up and asked anyone about that, with the exception of Pokemon Trainer, I think that is the order that people would expect them to come back. Young Link being the absolute lowest priority, which is what I said in my video of him, saying that Young Link's only chances would be if they brought everyone back, compared to the Ice Climbers, where the thing was that they were the most popular missing veteran, and that Sakurai had actively tried to put them in the last game and simply didn't because of technical reasons.
Right.
And as the Switch shouldn't be an issue with the Switch, there was no reason to not add them back in.
I definitely would agree with that, with the list, especially considering the fact of I'm still surprised by it, but 3 links, that I wouldn't have ever, if you told me that before Smash Ultimate, I would have ever believed you. So, but with Ice Climbers definitely being the highest, well, we already know that the Switch doesn't have any issues with Ice Climbers, so I definitely would have agreed with that. And then in between, maybe I would have switched like Snake's and Pichu's rating, just because of specific company and issues.
See, this was my thing with Snake. I think a lot of people overblow the Konami thing out of the water, like, especially because when this roster was decided, there was nothing public about the Konami-Kojima incident at that time. And Sakurai has never given an official statement onto why Snake wasn't added. And Kojima has even said that if Sakurai wanted to add Snake, he could do. Kojima doesn't mind, even if he doesn't work at Konami anymore. He's fine with Snake being in. And so, without knowing the reason, it was kind of like a Ridley situation for me. Either Sakurai has a big reason that we don't know and that reason is still there, or he had a reason at that specific moment, like maybe Snake just wasn't a high priority or he didn't mix well with the rest of the cast. Maybe he was the reason that it's a teen-rated game. Because if I'm right, Smash Ultimate has also been rated teen.
I don't know if it has a rating yet, but I would assume teen, because of the fact of Snake and Bayonetta. Definitely. I
think it has. I don't know if Bayonetta raised the rating of it. She might have done, to be fair. That would have been DLC. No, I think actually no, it's rating in progress. So at least in the Americas, actually, we don't know yet. It'll be interesting to see.
I think it'll hit teen.
Yeah, but so we don't know the reason, and so it's really hard to do a proper judgment call on Snake, on whether he can make it in. He had fans, so Sakurai would want to bring them back, but he also might have been difficult to actually make and work with, so it might not have been worth it. Like, different variations, but I think the most interesting one on here is the Pokemon trainer from Voyager. Because he gave Pokemon Trainer 50%, which is something I certainly wouldn't have agreed with, because I think I would have given Pokemon Trainer like 5%.
Whoa.
And that was mainly because I didn't think the transforming characters would be coming back at all. I didn't think they would push Charizard back into the transforming state.
Right.
And as Pokemon Trainer isn't technically the playable character, I didn't count him as, being a missing veteran. Yeah. And I don't know, what were your thoughts on what would you have given the Pokemon Trainer if it was you doing it?
On Pokemon Trainer, I think it would have been very based on if they wanted to bring back Red or the Fire Red Leaf Green design, because considering the fact of where we are right now, I wouldn't have ever assumed that Pokemon Trainer would come back, because I was never on the idea of bringing this character back. I wanted to see different Pokemon from different generations come in, and that's mainly the reason of why I was so eager to pick a Lycanroc RTC, because I definitely wanted to see more representation other than Gen 1, or the fact that since we already have Gen 4 and Gen 5, not Gen 5, we have Gen 4 and Gen 6 representation. We're like, okay, well, maybe open it up to Gen 3 or maybe a little bit more of Gen 2. So just so we can like have more history from Pokemon coming to the game. But considering, and I was actually also on the fence of cutting Charizard. Charizard was personally a character that I don't have any interest in, and because of the fact that although he is one of the most like popular Pokemon,
I think he is the most popular Pokemon.
I would say that based off worldwide, I would say he is, but in terms of like the Gen 6 popularity contest, it was Greninja. Yeah. But if I guess in terms of worldwide, I still think it would be Charizard. He is one of the most historical Pokemon, especially if you consider his trading card. But there definitely wasn't. I definitely wouldn't have seen Pokemon Trainer coming back at all unless you changed the Pokemon. And considering the fact that Charizard is now back limited to him, but not really as limited as you would think, considering the fact of the mechanical change, the technical change with Pokemon Trainer, I think I'm more open to this character now. The fact that I might try him out, considering the fact of the way that they changed how he works.
Okay. Well, I just want to give props out to Voyager for basically getting this right. If I remember correctly, his reasoning behind the 50% was kind of like mine with Ridley and Snake, in that we had no reason to think that Sakurai didn't want transformation characters gone, because as far as we were aware, it was a technical reason.
Right.
So with no technical issue on the Switch, why not bring Pokemon Trainer back and keep that mechanic specifically for him? And I mean, he was right. That is technically Pokemon Trainer's gimmick, is the transformations, considering Zelda and Sheik don't have them anymore.
Right.
And neither does Samus or Zero Suit. So that's become Pokemon Trainer's niche that makes him unique on the roster. And yeah, I didn't see it, and Voyager did, and I want to give him all the credit for that. Well done.
Nice.
I will not question your choices again. Maybe, hopefully, we get Isaac now.
And considering the fact of it seems like transformation final smashes are pretty much gone. That makes Pokemon Trainer even more special, like on like Ryu levels, I guess.
Yeah. So that does it for all of the confirmed characters we knew about that we'd done RTC for. I don't know when, obviously, the next newcomer will be. And I imagine it'll probably only be one, so we probably won't do another confirmed video until maybe the end. Okay. We'll see, or we'll just have it as be a part of another random discussion, just because it would only be like 2 minutes long, being like, yeah, we called it. Yeah. But do you have any closing comments you want to make, Phantom, before we wrap this up?
In terms of closing comments, I guess it would be Smash Ultimate is on the way, and if and any of the characters that I guess we rated pretty high, I wouldn't have seen coming, like Snake, Wolf maybe, because there was a big push for him, and I didn't really understand why he was taken out in the first place. It didn't seem like there was a big enough reason for it. With like Squirtle, Ivysaur, I wouldn't have even considered them coming back. But the fact that we do have everybody coming back, and the fact that we have 2 newcomers, Ridley, who was a 50%, and Nanten was right about that, but Daisy, where I was completely wrong about that, I'll own up to it, but I'm still even surprised by that. But I'm not against it. I'm happy that all these characters are back, and the fact of I haven't even played with some of these characters before, I'll definitely be giving them a try in Smash Ultimate.
Alright. And to everyone who's listening to this, I hope you enjoyed our discussions, and I hope that we got our reasonings and thoughts now across to you all. Let me know which of these confirmed newcomers and returning veterans are your favourite, which ones you're looking forward to play. If you think some of them shouldn't have been in there, just let us know. I want to give a special shout out to all of our patrons on the left, in particular our super patron, the Duke of Dorks. So his link to his channel is below. Always remember to stay with Source Gaming for all the latest gaming news, especially around Smash, and always remember to return to the source.